This training will guide you through importing and managing fleet data using the FleetXI platform. In this video, we will show you how to manually import and manage your fleet's financial and operational data to get your dashboard up and running. Click the Import Data button in the side menu to access the data entry module. For your security, you must first create a 4 or 6-digit PIN. This code will be required every time you want to access and manage your fleet's financial data. Once the section is unlocked, click the Add button to create a new entry for your total gross revenue. This will be the foundation for calculating your fleet's net profit. Now let's define the time frame for your total gross revenue. Select January 1st, 2026 as the start date, and March 14th, for example, as the end date to record all earnings generated from the beginning of the year to the present day. In this section, you must enter the total sum of your gross earnings. This figure is essential as it represents the starting point for calculating your fleet's financial health. For this example, enter the amount of $150,000. Once entered, the system will use this data to automatically update your revenue charts on the dashboard. Click the Details button to access additional data entry fields for the record. In the Details field, type Gross Income to properly categorize this entry. This ensures that the amount is correctly reflected as revenue on your main dashboard. Click Add Record to save your gross income and see it update in the list below. Now let's account for your labor costs. Click the Add button to create a new entry where we will record the total driver pay for this period. Just like in the previous section, we need to set the time frame. Click the Date field and select January 1st, 2026 as the start date for this record. Now click the End Date field and select, for example, March 14th to update the record to the current date. This ensures your driver payment data is perfectly aligned with today's financial status. Now click on the Value field to add the total sum earned by all your drivers during this period. This reflects the complete payroll expense for your entire fleet. For example, enter the amount of $25,000. The system will automatically track this as driver payments, helping you see your real net profit later on the dashboard. Click the Details button to open detailed entry fields for this payment record. Fill in the field with driver payment to describe the payment type. Click the Add button to proceed with the next entry. This allows you to continue building your financial report by adding additional expense or income categories. Now let's record your fuel costs. Click the Add button to create a new entry dedicated to tracking all fuel-related expenses for your fleet during this period. Consistency is key for your reports. Just like the previous entries, set the start date to January 1st, 2026 to ensure all your fuel expenses are captured from the beginning of the year. Now click on the End Date field and select March 14th, for example, to reflect today's date. This ensures your fuel spending report is fully updated and accurate up to this moment. Next, click the Value field to enter the total amount spent on fuel during this period. Enter $8,500, for example. This amount will be added to your total expenses, helping the system calculate your net profit automatically. Next, click on the field to enter the total number of gallons purchased. This data is key to monitoring your fleet's fuel efficiency later on. For this example, enter 650 gallons. Once you input this value, the system will be able to cross-reference it with your total spending for a complete analysis. In this step, you must select the specific state for each receipt. It is vital to be precise with the amount of money and gallons entered for each location, as this data will be used to automatically generate your IFTA tax reports. Once you have verified the state, money, and gallons, click Add Record to save this entry into your fleet's historical data. Now let's move on to vehicle upkeep. Click the Add button to start a new entry for fleet maintenance, where you can record all costs related to repairs and preventive service for your units. To keep all your records synchronized, set the start date to January 1st, 2026. This ensures that your fleet maintenance costs are tracked within the same period as your revenue and fuel. Now select today's date, March 14th, as the end date for this maintenance record. Click the Value field to enter the total amount spent on repairs or service. Enter $950, for example. This represents the total investment in keeping your trucks in top condition during this time frame. To save time, you can enter the total maintenance cost for your entire fleet as a single record. This allows you to quickly see the overall financial impact without having to input every single receipt individually. In the details, you can label it as General Fleet Service or assign it to a primary unit like Truck 01. This gives you a clear starting point for your maintenance history while keeping your data entry fast and efficient. Click the Add Record button to save the current entry into the system. To finalize your operational data, select the same date range from the start of the year to today. Then, simply enter the total number of completed trips, for example, 125. This quickly populates your fleet's activity level without the need for manual entry of every single load. Don't forget to add the label Trips Completed in the Details section to ensure this metric is categorized correctly in your performance charts. Click the Add Record button to save the current trip data into the system. Click here to proceed with other expenses. Finally, let's log any remaining costs. After setting the same date range from January to today, enter the total amount for miscellaneous items, for example, 635. This covers various operating costs that don't fall into the main categories. In the Details section, you can list examples such as insurance, parking, phone bills, or accessories. This level of transparency helps you identify exactly where every dollar is going beyond fuel and maintenance. Click the Add Record button to save the current expense data into the system. Click the Overview tab to review the summary of all entered fleet data. Excellent! Now that you've imported all your historical data, click on the Overview tab. You can now see a complete financial picture of your fleet, from your $150,000 in gross revenue to your net profit after expenses. Your FleetXI Dashboard is now fully configured and ready to help you make data-driven decisions.